Hey everybody, this is Big Mike, your home for progressive news issues and candidates here in Colorado. If you notice a difference behind me, I am in a hotel room in the heart of American capitalist empire, arguably the birthplace of the petrodollar, Dallas, Texas today. And of course, I'm filling in for Resistor Vic while he is running for House District 47 in Colorado. So welcome to the Resistance if you are here for Resistor Vic. I am here today with Dr. Ann Keke, running in House District 41 in Colorado. And I am legally obligated as the first doctor on the program, legally required to ask you, what's up, Doc?
What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me, Big Mike. Such an honor to be on your show. Yes, I am so excited to be on your show this morning. And yes, I wanted to get on your show because it's real, right? Primaries are real and people got to know who their leaders are. So again, thank you for having me. And yeah, let's get it going.
It is my pleasure. So go ahead, introduce yourself and let the folks know why you're running.
Absolutely. So, my name is Dr. Ann Keke. Oftentimes I get asked, Big Mike, what's your doctorate in? I am not that medical doctor. I wish I was, but equally important. My doctorate is in criminal justice. That's what I teach. That's what I live and breathe outside of serving my community, right? I am a mother. I am a community leader, as I said. I am an Aurorian, proud Aurorian, and I am also a community leader in House District 41, Aurora, and people. I serve on the board of Aurora Public Schools, Board of Education. I am the past president. As you know, Aurora Public School is the destination district, and it is the most diverse district in in the entire state of Colorado. So proud to be serving here. I am an immigrant coming from the Ivory Coast, and I moved here let's say, I'm not going to reveal my age, right? I know I look good. I'm not going to reveal my age, but 20, 30 years ago, I stayed here. Aurora gave me a family. I have a beautiful family. Aurora gave me a job. Aurora gave me opportunity. Aurora gave me the chance to serve along with amazing leaders. I am so proud to be an Aurorian. In a nutshell, this is who I am. Why am I running? Because House District 41 deserves leadership that represents them. Listen, it is also one of the most diverse districts in the state.
I
And
believe in the
House,
country also.
yes, absolutely. So you know your history, Big Mike. Thank you for
Yeah,
saying that. It serves a lot of immigrants. It actually encompasses the whole of Havana, 4.1 mile of businesses, of restaurants, of exotic shops and all of that. It is important that those hardworking people, those loving people, see themselves represented, at the state capitol. And this is why I'm running.
absolutely. And I wanted to ask you a little bit. There's a narrative on the right, that immigrants who come here legally, they feel that it's unfair for people who come here, and overstay visas, or however they stay here legally. So I wanted to get your opinion on that train of thought, um, and and kind of your thoughts on immigration as a whole.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. And you are absolutely right. I am not here to play gimmicks or play politics. The question that you ask is real and it is debated amongst us immigrants. Yes, there's a group of immigrants who have come here legally, who don't believe that others should come here illegally, for lack of better word, right? Come here illegally and have certain benefits that they have been working hard to have. It is true That is actually, do you know, Big Mike, that is actually one of the reasons why male Hispanics voted in drove for Trump. It
I
is
mean,
one of
I'm
the reasons.
aware. Yeah,
Yeah,
they definitely had a spike in the last election. Yeah.
they did. And that was one of the reasons why. Now, there is another group who says, yes, we know how hard it is to come here legally and try to stay and get paperwork and all of that and get, remain documented and all of that. However, if our friends and families have come to join us, there is no longer anything we can do. What we can do is to surround them with the love that they need and the support that they need. What does that support looks like? What that love looks like is what immigrant communities are now thinking about. Enough of the divide of what they shouldn't have come here, shoulda, coulda, woulda had already happened. They are here. What do we do so that just like us, we make them productive citizens? And these conversations are happening among immigrants. So one group like the African Leadership Group here in Aurora is doing a lot of community service for these folks. For example, we are having English classes for them. We are having food drives, we are having clothing drives, we are having community resource information for them, and even know your right information for them, along with other immigrants. So now the conversation have shifted from, well, why are they here illegally, right? And I had to suffer to get my paperwork and my identity and everything together for myself, to what do we do with them? Because again, contrary to the narrative that has been put out there that they're all criminals, we are not all criminals. You're talking to one of them. I am a productive part of Aurora, a productive citizen, a someone who touches life, right? Lives both here at home in Aurora and across the state.
And I want to talk about that. Not to cut you off, but
No worries.
I do want to talk about your work specifically for the school board.
Yes.
So if you could tell us a little bit about the work you've done over there for the Aurora School Board.
It's been my greatest honor to serve on a school board. This is where my leadership has been discovered, right? I think prior to that, I did not know what leadership looked like until I was asked to run. Don't get me wrong, prior to that, yes, I was out in the community, serving people, going and putting people's feet to our leaders' feet to the fire at both at the Capitol and at the state Board of Education. But when I was asked to run, and I did all of that, it was hard, but we prevailed. And then I got on that board. Really, that's where my servant leadership skills really showed up. And also, um, you know, my situational leadership in all of that really started to show up. It is amazing to serve the students of Aurora Public Schools. My daughter is one of them, right? She goes to Rangeview. She's going to be graduating in May. I cannot wait to give her her diploma. It is such an honor.
Congratulations.
But on your board, what do? We make sure that staff, teachers, and you see me making a difference between those two groups, staff, teachers, and students, have a really conducive environment to thrive. We understand that teachers are the boots on the ground that educate our students and shape their future and their lives. But here's another thing that I have come to understand as well. Whatever goes on at home for our students, they carry it within the walls of the classroom.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the reasons that has prompted me to run. I see through my students, through our students, right, the things that their families go through. So no longer can we make a difference between students and families. They come together. That's the reason why on the Board of Education, when we discuss issues and matters, and when we try to solve issues and matters, we do have our students and their families in mind. We want to make sure that the doors of our schools are open and welcoming to our families where they feel respected, seen, and heard. Same thing for our students, right? And for our teachers, we want to make sure that they have a working environment that really gives them the opportunity to open up the gift of educating our kids. That's what we do on the Board of Education. Also, not forgetting the academic side, which is giving us to monitor how well our kids are doing and keeping the feet of our leaders that we have hired, right, to the fire.
Very interesting. I wanted to touch on AI, and especially in the classrooms.
Damn,
You
you have
know,
some good questions, Big Mike. I love it.
yes. Well, my father's a teacher, my sister's a teacher. So I hear a lot about these things. Can you tell us a little bit about AI in classrooms and
Yes.
in teaching?
Yep.
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What is the Aurora School Board doing to keep track of these things, I suppose?
This is such a great question. Number one, I want to preface Big Mike by saying that AI is here and it's here to stay. I don't think we're going to do away with AI. At the same time, I am of the belief that we can put some amazing guardrails to make sure that it works for the people, right? And that the people are using it, not AI using the people.
Right.
Am I making sense? So you
Absolutely.
mentioned that your father is a teacher, your sister is a teacher. I am a teacher. Even though I teach at the college level now, I love to still call myself a teacher because once a teacher, always a teacher. We can use big names like professor, whatever. At the end of the day, you're a teacher. There are pros and cons to any and everything that we put together. So when we talk about AI, of course, AI has amazing benefits in the classroom. At the same time, it comes with some cons that we have to address. Good, a pro, for example, and now is AI. We can use AI to streamline the work of our teachers. AI can be used to differentiate between a student who is gifted and talented and gets everything really fast and a student who has some learning difficulties, learning disabilities, and then differentiate so that they can grow together in a classroom. Huge. AI is being used by our psychologists to help them streamline their work when used properly to identify students on on different IEPs, on different disability issues, and get them to where they are. Right now, caseloads of students on IEPs and students that are being discovered as gifted and talented and all of that is backed up because I believe we're not using AI properly to detect that. So that's one pros of AI. One con of AI could be that if there are no guardrails, now we let our students not being able to use their minds and be critical thinkers. We want our kids to be critical thinkers.
Right. And
We
that's my
want,
worry. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Even myself as a parent, it's my worry. Myself as a teacher, it's my worry. In my classroom, I have a very clear AI disclaimer. I am going to know if you use AI because I have the tool as well as a student, right? But that's the college level. And if you do plagiarism, If you cheat, because it's cheating, if you don't use your brain and you let somebody else write a paper for you, when I find out, you're done. You're done
Yeah.
because the tool is not out there for you to no longer use your brain. It is there to help you. And I've seen that. I've seen that in my classroom. I know a lot of my colleagues, teachers have seen that too. That's the cons. It may help students not use their brain, and that's not what we want. We want our kids to remain critical thinkers. And so, to me, when we discuss I want to discuss it in a lens of how do we put guardrails that will help our students. I think I wrote a piece in a Sentinel about AI. I think it was last summer. Okay, because one, it's here to stay. Let's embrace it. Two, how do we make good use of it for even families, right? Because now with AI, we can use those algorithms, we can use AI to discriminate against people, to make even to widen the gap of equity. Whereas it should be used if we have the real guardrails, it could be a beauty. I truly believe that. But guess who that incumbents upon? People at the state level. Right here locally, we cannot do anything.
Right. Well, let's jump over to budgets. Obviously, as a school board president and participant, I'm sure you're more than aware of all the struggles Colorado has been having, particularly
Oof.
since the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill, quote unquote. So tell us a little bit about those struggles. And there's some movement at the state capitol to kind of get around Tabor. Would you support that if you were elected, or would you support really just abolishing Tabor? Tell us where you are on that.
Number one, we can I be real?
Absolutely.
Or should I stay politically correct? Which one?
Let's do real. Let's
Okay.
keep it real.
Thank you, Big Mike. Listen, the budget shortfall we have been seeing for the last few years, we did not arrive here out of the blue. Okay. There have been programs that have been put together to help the people we want to serve that maybe today should be reviewed in the light of our budget. But now let's talk about the budget in the light of schools and funding, school funding. This also is we have a real problem. It's only going to be worse before it gets better. That is just the reality. I was on a call last week, and the host, was telling us that if we continue to go the rate at which we are going, our our general funds, the state general funds could be depleted by 2029. That is scary. 2029 is in 3 years from now. That is really scary. And the first thing that gets cut when there is no money is what? It's never,
Education.
thank you. It's never prisons. It's
It's never prisons. It's never police.
it's education. Yet education is one of the most fundamental pillar of a thriving country. If America is where it is today, Big Mike, it's because we have strived to educate everybody. So, in the light of the budget, yes, we are in trouble.
In fact, I would argue we are in the political situation we are today because of 40 years of Republicans defunding and gutting education across the country,
And no
particularly
one
in red
wanted to talk
states.
about it. No one was mentioning it. No one. At the same time, our colleagues, our Democrats colleagues that are at the Capitol, should put their mouth where their money is as well, and do the right thing with education funding. So all of that to say, yes, the bill to pay our teachers better, absolutely, I'm going to support it. Would you? I don't know if you have any kids, Big Mike.
Not yet.
Okay, I love that. Not yet. But imagine, think about your family members who have kids, okay? Even as an uncle, would you trust someone with your kids or your nephews and pay them less than what they deserve? Do you think
Absolutely not.
it's common sense, right?
Yeah.
It's common sense. If our teachers are not well paid and they don't have peace of mind, do you really think our kids are going to learn? If housing programs is good housing programs, useful housing programs is not put together, are not put together for them, for their peace of mind, do you think our kids are going to learn? They are not. So let's start to be real. I understand people who are saying, oh, teachers are complaining all the time. They may be complaining all the time. But can we validate their complaints?
Well, and Colorado is one of the most expensive states in the country, and frankly,
Yet,
their pay has not kept up with the cost of living.
bingo, we are 47th in education, way at the bottom. Michigan is better than us. And I'm not throwing shades at Michigan. I just think Colorado is the greatest state. That's all, right?
I
But
agree.
but if we don't put again our money where our mouth is, we are wrong. We are only doing our future generation a disservice. So yes, funding is scarce. It's only going to get worse. This since last legislative session, our colleagues, our friends on the Democrat side have tried to improve education funding by creating a better funding act, education funding act. It was a lot of struggle. I think they're in a better place now this year to where it's when implemented, it's going to be a win-win for everybody. However, when teachers are also fighting to get something from Tabor, which is not really going to cost anything, it's not changing much. If there's money, let's put it in education. That's all uh how do you call it? That initiative is asking. Let's give it a try.
Absolutely. All right. Staying a little bit on education. So myself, I'm a union construction worker during the week. I do this on the weekends. This is my contribution to the political situation.
Yeah.
Where are you on teachers unions, on labor, and would you support the Worker Protection Act, and that is working its way again through the legislature after being vetoed by Polis the first time?
I believe again that this country is great because rights are implemented and respected to some extent, right? To some extent.
Right.
And I truly believe that if people want to unionize because that's where they think they can make strong movement, it is their right, isn't it? It's a constitutional right.
I
They should be
believe so,
given
yeah.
that right. Simple and plain. There are countries where that does not exist at all. America is not great on accident. It's because certain things that humanize people have been implemented. So let's continue in that path. Number one. When it comes to teacher union, of course I support teacher union. Go look at my record. Big Mike, when I got on a board with two others of my colleagues, The year that we got on the board was the year that we gave the biggest raise in negotiation to AEA, the
Oh yeah.
Aurora Union, teacher union. It's no lie. Again, go look at my record. And year after year, prior to that, within me being on the board, we have given them something to at least try to match the cost of living. Because again, we understand that they matter. Guess what? The majority of our board in Aurora Public Schools have either been in a classroom or are currently impacting students, including me. So it's not a board who does not understand how the teaching profession is so hard and at the same time so noble. So of course we support our teachers. Of course we will always support our teachers. Every time I make a decision and I hear the president of Aurora Educator Association saying thank you to me, and she's really good at it. You know what my answer is? I'm
What's
only
that?
doing my job. This is common sense. I promise you. You can ask her. That's always what I say. I am only doing my job. If it makes sense, I will do it. So to answer that question, of course, I support them. We are in the middle of negotiation right now. We were just appraised of how things are going. I think we're in a better place than years before because we are trying to implement. We've introduced step lane pay last year. We're trying to implement that now to make sure that we let them know we continue to see you, we continue to hear you. Listen, we just also passed a resolution 720 to allow our first classified union in Aurora Public Schools. This is huge. On top of that, we are going to continue to have a classified employee committee. So to give people the choice that they want. As you know, it's not all teachers that belong to the union, right? And
Right.
we also understand that it's not all classified who will want to belong to the union. So if they don't belong to the union, is there another alternative? That's going to be there. But either or, we want to make sure that their rights are respected. We want to make sure that their working environment is better. And I keep saying this to people. If I don't know, I can't advocate for you. Because I'm a board member, people think I know every granular thing that is going on in every single school and the district is huge. No, I do not. But if you call me, you text me, you email me, I will always respond because I do know that I'm on this seat because of your vote. Union or not union, I value our teachers. But even more unions, you know why? Because when they negotiate, they don't negotiate just for their own group, they negotiate for the whole. And when there are issues, they don't try to advocate just for themselves, that one small group. They advocate for everybody. So it is important. That's my take.
I love it. I love it. All right. And I do, so there's an overarching argument right now in the Democratic Party between what someone called the progressive side and the more moderate side, or you
Yep.
can call it the center right versus the center left part of the party. Where do you fall in that, and why do you um, how do I want to say this? Where do you fall? Let's start with that. Where do you fall on the spectrum? Are you more of a Zoran Mamdani, or are you more of a Chuck Schumer?
I think I'm either. I'm a Democrat. I uphold our democratic values any day, anytime. You know what I like to call myself? A progressive. You know what a progressive is? Someone who implement change incrementally, progress.
Yeah.
I am a progressive. I want change. Yes, is it easy to carry the gas and the matches and ready to burn? Sometimes it's needed because after several conversations and you're like, you're not hearing me, I'm coming to burn this down. Yes,
Yeah.
it should happen. And sometimes when you make that statement, things start to move. But a real progressive is someone who wants change incrementally, knowing how to move and when to shift things fast and when to also understanding the the impact of quickly changing things on the people. Again, the whole time you've heard me talk about the people we want to help, to impact. Every move, every decision that we make, every move that we make as leaders impact lives. Someone said this to me, Big Mike. A doctor can make a mistake on a patient. One patient dies. A road engineer can make a mistake on a road, on a bridge. 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever, right? Die. A railroad engineer can make a mistake on a railroad. A few people would die. But every time a state servant, every time a legislative leader makes a mistake, it is generations. Every time an educator leader makes a mistake, it is generations that are dying. It's not just one person. It's not just 10 people. It's not 100 people. We are talking about generations. We have to be thoughtful. And I hate the fact that within the house, we are fighting. I am a far left. So you're not with me because you're a center left or a center right. What the does that mean, Big Mike? My question is, do you uphold our democratic values that have made America stand the test of time? If yes, then you're a Democrat. If no, get out of here. Go somewhere else, like this other side.
Well, I guess
Right.
that's really what it comes down to is there's a side of the party that feels that part of that democratic value is having the backs of workers, and there's another faction,
Mhm.
ideally the smaller faction these days,
Yeah.
that feels that you know business and their interests are more important than workers, and I think that's the struggle that you see is you know of course businesses are important, but the like I was actually a fan of Biden's middle out policy of the more money
Mhm.
that workers have, the more customers businesses have. um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
so
it's
I
true. And to me, there's got to be a balance. There really has to be a balance. Again, I repeat, I may be a foreigner, I may be an immigrant, but the values that have made America stand are values that have always been balanced, right? And we need to come back to that. I am not saying let's go to bed with a far right or I don't know, these days with a Trumpist. Now, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about real democratic values, standing up for immigrants, right? Defending, the rights of working families, right? What? Also making sure that businesses who are the bedrock of American economy are standing. All of these matter. So it's not because you support businesses Well, it depends on how you support businesses, that you should be cut off from the Democratic Party. And it's not because you support um, unions that you should be cut off. At the end of the day, all these people are lives that we impact. So we need to think about it in that light. We do. So no, I call myself a Democrat. And I want to do right by the people. I want to cause no harm to the people that I claim to be serving and to be advocating for, because I know every decision that I make impact their lives. That's why, Big Mike, before I make any decision, I go do my own homework. I talk to hundreds of people. And I even ask for alternative solutions because I know I'm not the smartest one in the room. And that's how I come to make decisions. I sit with everybody because I know that decision that I'm about to vote on will have an impact. And what I want to do is be able to sleep on my when my head hits my pillow, sleep very well because I've done the right thing. That's where I'm at.
Beautiful answer. Beautiful. And again, I am in Dallas right now. I don't have access to my usual tools and notes. Is there anything, or are there any priorities you have in the legislature that I did not bring up?
No, you hit it all, uh, on the head with the nail here. We talked about immigration. As an immigrant, it's important to me. We talked about education. Boy, education is important. You and I know it's the power of education that is making us standing here today.
Absolutely.
I can talk about hundreds of people where I come from back home, whom because of poverty did not get the chance to sit even for in an elementary classroom, not educated. And we know the damage that that can cause. And then obviously we talked about our, values and how we use those values, how we uphold these values in making decisions for the people that we claim uh, um, uh, to advocate for and to serve. All these three things are important. We talked about affordability through the budget. Listen, back to affordability, right, Big Mike? You know, I think it was two weekends ago, the House discussed the loan bill. I think I'm gonna be in trouble for that, but I'm gonna say it. You know, our friends have cut some programs and they're not even talking about it to their constituents. And they had to cut these programs because there's just not money, right? They had to. That's what balancing the budget means. Some programs have to go. Don't ask me if those programs were thoughtful. If, I don't ask me. I'm I'm aspiring to get there,
Right.
right? But do you know the programs that they cut? Some of the education programs, some of the immigration programs, some of the affordability programs. Why the heck, sorry for my French, do they not go back to their communities, having town halls and talking about those things? We are in a primary. Listen, it is time people are waking up, but it's like time we like really start smelling the coffee and hold these folks feet to the fire. Otherwise, again, as I said, by 2029, if we continue to go this route, it's going to be really worse before it gets better. So
Gotcha.
change is on its way.
All right. And
Make
on
the
that
right
note,
decision.
On that note, let folks know where they can find you, where they can donate, and where they can help your campaign.
Absolutely. My website is simple. I have such a beautiful and unique name, Anne Keke. So my website is my name, Anne Keke, ANNEKEKE.com. You will find my priorities, you will find my why, and you will read about my beautiful story, which is the story of Aurora. And right there, there's a donate button. I would love your donation because we're on our way to win this race and then make substantial change that will impact the people that we are serving directly.
All right, everybody. This has been Dr. Ann Kiki. Enchanté. Very nice to
Merci.
spend some time with you. And of course, she's running in House District 41. That is central, kind of southern Aurora, I believe.
Correct.
And of course, support Resistor Vic down in House District 47 if you can, anyway. Check out his website as well. And it's been great to have you, and look forward to seeing you win.
Such an honor to be on your show. And let's stay in touch.
The
And yes,
pleasure is mine. Yeah, we'll do this
let's
again sometime.
let's go win this.
Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.